Right, another video today. I'm trying to get a bit more frequent, to be honest with you, but now I've got access to a unit. There's literally no excuses now, because it's literally no matter what the weather is, I can get it in here. Well, get something done out here. So on the tailgate, there's the handle at the bottom, which is supposed to have a little plastic cover on. Now, I've rang TPS, they want 56 quid plus the VAT. eBay, it's like 70, 80 quid. And for a piece of plastic, I can't warrant that. So what I've done is I went on Volkswagen Transporters and they sell these, which are just plastic covers that go over them. As you can see, the sticky back, double-sided tape on there. So the idea is of these ones, I believe, is some of the T6s, they have got the door lock barrel on them. So I think the idea of these are it's supposed to cover over that so you can't see it. Now I've lined it up against the tailgate and it literally fits perfectly flush. So my plan of action is with this one is to spray it body colour, and the light's just gone out, which ain't ideal. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to prep the area up, which I've already started doing. I've got my trestle out, a few other little bits. I'm going to scotch it down, rub it back, see if I can key the area up. I've got the urn on the go over there, heating up, boil the paint up, get it nice and warm so it goes and flows on nicely. So what I'll do, I'll just show you what my setup is at the minute, and then we'll go from there. Right, so I've got a can there, which I'm gonna secure down onto this board. And then my plan is to literally rest that on there, spray it so I can get all the edges, and then let it cure. So this is the can of paint, which is mixed to the van. That's left over from when I done the tailgate. I've also got over here some etch primer, which probably isn't going to be ideal for it, but I mean, better than nothing. And then obviously within my box here, it looks like something's gone through it. I've got paper, Scotch pads. Actually, Scotch pads are in here, I think. Yeah, Scotch pads are in there. So I'll do that, and then, well, I'll show you me prepping it up, and then we'll go from there. Right, so that's the trim I'm at. I'm going to prime up, paint, key up, whatever. Here is the Scotch pad. So literally all I'm going to do, green is 180 grit. So all I'm going to do is literally just braze over the top of it, and as you can sort of see there, scratches are appearing. So I'll do that until it's completely keyed up. Probably work my way up to something a little bit more harsh on this, to be honest. But at least then it gives something for the primer to actually adhere to. So I'll just do this for about 5-10 minutes while the urn's warming it up. But yeah, it's definitely keying up nicely. But yeah, I think we'll key it up with this one to start with, and then I'll move over then to something a little bit more abrasive. So if I've got 180, 180 is the hardest I've got, I think. I might have to go over to the sandpaper then, if that's the case. Obviously I don't want nothing to completely chew it up. I literally just want something just to key up the surface. Just so obviously when I apply the primer, it's got something to bite into, and then obviously the paint can bite into it as well. Whenever doing anything to do with sanding, especially on something like this, do not forget to do your edges. Because if you forget to do your edges, the paint is literally just going to not stick to those edges. And then after a few weeks or days or whatever, it'll just flake off and it'll just look awful. But yeah, my plan is as well, I'm not going to rely on these little double-sided sticky pads, because I have a funny feeling I've used similar before and it just doesn't stick. It stays on there for a few days, and then after a while they just peel off. But yeah, that is the sort of area. Oh, you can't really tell on the camera. Still a bit of a shine to it. I want to get rid of that shine completely, really. Let's have a look in the old boxeroo over here, see what I've got. To be honest with you, I got all this from Amazon. It's fairly inexpensive. I bought it all originally when I'd done the tailgate. And to be honest with you, it's been sanded. That's 800. I want something a little bit harsher. But yeah, this is just an assortment. So I've got 320, 400, 600, more 400. Don't tell me I've run out of the harsher stuff. What's this here? 120 grit, that's a bit too rough. Something there, 180. Let's try 180 on a pad. Might be a bit better, and then I can work my way back down. Let's have a look. That's a little bit better. Yeah, that's keying it up nicely now. Should have just used the pad all along. But yeah, well, once I've got it all keyed up anyway, I'll come back to you. Right, got the cans in boiling water at the minute. Just getting them warmed up, ready for paint. I've prepped the handle cover up now, which is there. You could probably done with a little bit more there, but I'll see what happens when I put the primer on. If the primer reacts, then obviously I'll have to go again. But I can't see why it wouldn't. I think it's just the light, to be honest with you. Because if you look, you can see it's all keyed up nicely. So all I've got to do now is secure that can down, which I've got to try and find my masking tape, which I know I had out here, but it looks like it may have gone walkabouts. Because there's definitely evidence of it on the floor around here. Unless that was the leftover, I'm sure I had a fatter roll of it. But yeah, as soon as I'm ready for paint, I'll get the camera set up and you can watch me paint it like last time. Cans all mixed up, all got out all dried off, because obviously the last thing you want is water to be dropped into whatever you're painting. So now, what I've also done is I've taped the can down and also put a bit of tape on there to stop that from falling off as well. So let's start spraying. Do the edges first, a little dust coat to start with. Paint does seem to be taking, which is a good start. Around this side. Pretty much got a nice coverage over that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to let that flash off for 5 minutes or so, then hit it with a wet coat of primer, and then yeah, should be ready then for sanding it back if there is any imperfections, which I reckon there's going to be, and then going from there with the base colour, see what we can do. Right, it's been about 5 minutes now, so now I hit it with a wet coat and see what happens. Oh, this paint's running out. Oh, we've got a bit of orange peel on the job, which was to be expected if I'm going to be honest with you. But that is coated. So now I'm going to give that around about 20 minutes or so just to go off, and then we'll hit it with the base colour. Right, been about 20 minutes now. That's gone off lovely. No need to sand it back because the finishing is actually all right, which I was surprised about. But yeah, this here is still quite warm to the touch, so I'm going to hit it now with the base colour, and hopefully it goes on lovely. I'll just move the heat gun out of the way, which I used to speed the process up ever so slightly. But we'll go from there. Again, same as the primer, little dusting coat on there, just to get the edges, and then I'll finally hit it with the wet coat when it's flashed off. Like I say, let that go off for 5 or so minutes, and then we'll hit it with the wet. What I'll do, I'll show you what it's looking like at the moment, and then we'll go from there. So this is it, with it's just a little dusting coat on, which you can see there. And then what I've got to do is wait for that to go off, and then hit it again with the wet coat, and then I'll show you the after of what it'll look like. But at least the paint's still going on all right, because it's been a few months now since I've painted it. I want to say probably about 2 months since I painted it, so it's nice to know that paint is still good, which is handy for touch-ups and things like that. But yeah, like I said, you can see I've done the edges. It's literally now I just got to wait for that to cure, dry off, and then I can hit it again with the base colour, and it'll look good, hopefully. Right. So that's it, at its wet coat now. The light's just gone off conveniently. You can see it's got a little bit of peel in it. But again, it's not the ideal working conditions to be in for painting. But, I mean, once it's on the van, nobody will probably notice anyway. Plus, I've done it myself with 0 experience of painting. I don't care, to be honest with you. But yeah, what I'll do next is, once that's all dried, I'll show you it all fitted up on the van, And then, yeah, we'll see what we can do next with the van. Right, while that cover's going off, drying, going off, same thing, I'm tackling the reversing camera again. So, for the last few times, you would have seen my last video, but I've got problems with the connectors on it. So, you've got like your single pin that goes inside of there. Every so often, it goes fuzzy and then it stops working. So, I've reran an earth lead through up in the top, same place I've earthed the handle, because it seems to be every time I've tapped into its own a different earth, it doesn't work. So I've done that, and then works fine for a few days, and then stops working again. But then it seemed to be every time I wiggled around with these, it then sorted it out on there. It then produced an image on the stereo, which is what I wanted, obviously. So what I've done, I've chopped these off, come to this side here, and you can see I've got the wire there, which I'm going to strip back. I've just stripped it off on here, but I applied a little bit of heat shrink there, just so the wire doesn't strip all the way back. And then, yeah, so I'm going to add myself a little bit more wire on here, which I've got over there. I'm going to add some more wire, a bit of length, solder those in, and then go from there. So once I've done that, I'll come back. Right, if the camera will focus. So I've put these little solder joints. Oh, why won't the camera focus? Oh, there we go. Right. So I've put those little solder joints in there, so they're like, well, they're literally like this, if I'm going to be honest. Use a bigger one to show you. They're basically heat shrink tubing with bits of solder in there. So what you got to do is literally put them over the wire you want, obviously strip it back as normal, and then with a heat gun, which is what I use, because I've used the blowtorch before and it just, yeah, annihilates them. And then with that, all you got to do is just trim them back like you would normally before you solder. Slide them over, heat them up, it shrinks down, and then inside there the solder melts. And yeah, it makes a very good connection. So done it up there as well, down there, and then I've just redone this one here as well, just for good measure, which I've just got to tap that one. Oh, not even showing you. So I've just got to attach that one back up there again. So now, if I move around the back here, move around the front, we got a camera again, which is fantastic. So now I've done that, I can now reattach the inner liner, and then put it all back together, and then hopefully it'll work for a lot longer than it has done before. Just neaten these wires up, make sure nothing's going to earth out or anything like that, which it shouldn't do, but better to be safe than sorry. So once I've done that, I'll then come back. Right, so the handle cover is now being stuck on. As you can see, looks pretty bang on, if I'm going to be honest with you. Colour match is still good, which is always a good start. And now hopefully, if I've now come around to the front, camera's still working, which it is. Fantastic. So, there's two things I've done today that have gone well. Camera's working again, fantastic, and managed to get the cover painted and fitted up as well. What I done is, I should have recorded it really, what I ended up doing was putting a bead of tiger seal along there and then using the sticky back pad, so at least then it has got something to fall back on. Ooh, something to fall back on if it does want to unstick. But I mean, you wouldn't even tell that's a aftermarket one or anything like that. So, I'm happy with that. Let's get the inner trim panel put back in with these stupid little clips. And then all done. Fantastic. Right. Reversing camera's done. The cover's on, so that's all sorted. So, all in all, we've had a pretty productive afternoon on the van. I've got a few more things planned for it because show season's coming up. I've got a little bit of rust to tackle on the passenger side bottom sill, so that'll probably be the next video I'm going to sort out. And then after that, it's just literally a polish up. I do still need to get that sliding door sorted because there is a whopping great dent in there still. But I think for now, that'll do for this video. And then the next one, you'll probably see me tackling the outer sill on this passenger side front. Because since taking the arch liners out, it just seems to be flaking the paint off and rust is just appearing. So we'll crack on and get that sorted in the next video. So hopefully, see you then. Thank you very much.